Greetings and salutations, folks, and welcome to Martian Memorandum, and this sweet little jazz intro. A little bit old school, a little bit MIDI, but that's fine. That's fine. It gets the point across. It does justice. But I figure I might as well move on with the Tex Murphy franchise to its sequel, the second game of its series. I've never played Martian Memorandum. I played it for that's sort of a lie. I played it for like 1 minute, like 10 minutes ago, just to see if it runs, what the hell it looks like. But I've never played it before. I've never actually seen footage of this before. So I admit, like, a lot of this game is going to be very new for me. So there's definitely going to be a walkthrough involved. I'm going to try to avoid using the walkthrough, though. I'm going to try my best. But when I do use it, I will say, now I'm using the walkthrough. I'll have a link to what walkthrough I'm using in the description. Only out of means of convenience. That way I'm not kind of like sitting on a puzzle, sitting on something for too long. Anyway, last night was tough. Nearly getting iced always leaves me drained and jumpy. As a private investigator, I've been in tough spots. But that was nearly the end of the line. I ended up sleeping in my chair all day. Now the sun is setting and I groggily stumble around the room trying to regain my bearings. As I look out the window, I can see the San Francisco skyline and what's left of the atmosphere. Not so long ago, a gigawatt of nuclear missiles were launched by... Let's try that again. A gigawatt of nuclear missiles were launched by some frenetic third world country. Lucky for the shelters, most people survived. The ecosystem may not. Tonight it seems the sky is extraordinarily red. Not the normal washed, ruddy hue, but a thick, malicious, deep red. Something about the color leaves me edgy and tense. It's as if someone or something is targeting me. But then maybe I'm superstitious. I've never much cared for the color of blood. Which is interesting turn of events, because, I mean, like, in the previous Tex Murphy game, we finish off with him hooking up with Sylvia. They've driven off into the sunset. But as I know from later Tex Murphy games, they do end up divorced, and he ends up just basically hating her. Already? It already looks fancier than Mean Streets. Definitely a graphical upgrade. We have all of the functions on the bottom, similar to like your more traditional LucasArts style point-and-click adventure game. You don't have to use mouth on anything, so that's at least gone. There doesn't seem to be a traditional menu in this game. There's no like new game. Like I tried every letter on the keyboard, the function keys, to try to find a quit button. Apparently quit is just Control Q. But it's a little odd not to have an actual menu beyond... Oh, by the way, we're gonna go through that a little bit. Beyond Savaloda. So let us save our game. We don't really need to, I suppose, because we've just started and we haven't done anything. But one of the new features that I find particularly interesting in this game is the help button. This might actually reduce the amount of walkthrough I use, because the the help button actually tells you what interactable items there are inside the room. So that saves time. So let's look at this mail. Mail has been shoved through the slot in the door. Let's get the mail. You pick up the mail, take the cash enclosed in one of the envelopes. You decide to file the letters. But what exactly it was... How much cash do I have? Can I look at how much cash I have? Alright. There's also a gun hanging on the wall. Texas trusty gun, hung up to dry after a good soap and water cleaning. Because that's how you take care of your gun. With soap and water. You pick up the gun with care. The wall switch is covered with fingerprints. Let us move the switch. The switch emits a loud click. What does it do? Oh, it turns on the fan. And then there's this switch, which opens up the window. The fluorescent clouds are a curdled pink, reminiscent of 10-year-old Pepto-Bismol. Across the street, a red brick modern high-rise apartment building. Out in the street, a few mutant winos panhandle and assault unlucky passerbys. Alright. What else have we got to look at here? We have our fedora. Your standard fedora, a requirement for the hard-working PI. So let's get that. You can't take that. It's a requirement, but you can't take it. Strange. Various doodling on the calendar includes a pig with an extremely large nose, and a duck with XX over his eyes. That duck is dead. Alright, what else have we... Actually, let's click here. So we got the lens, we got a lockpick kit, that definitely sounds useful. There, I believe, should be ammo, yep. Somewhere. Gray government issue filing cabinet, dented and scratched with many years of use. The drawer slides open and you bore yourself reading old cases. You haven't had anything real interesting since Mean Streets. The drawer has been stuck for many years. Might as well just give up on that drawer. The drawer slides up. Okay. Same thing. Nikon FB9000 no light infrared camera. It may not be the latest model, but it's seen tons of sex and violence in its day. No, that's wrong button. There we go. You pick up the camera. And I have a fax. A nasty fax warning texts if he doesn't pay his utility bills, his power will be shut off. Those jerks. Why bother? It will just show up again tomorrow. An old but functional fax machine. A ceiling fan used to distribute the hot, nearly unbreathable air. The comma should actually be over here. The ceiling fan used to distribute the hot, nearly unbreathable air throughout the room. An old Olympus fluid mount pneumatic tripod. Can I take that with me? I cannot take that with me. Can I use my camera with the tripod? You need the lens also. Comlink. Your Comlink is a portable fax and communicator. It allows you to reach your answering service and receive message. Also, I don't know if you still have the secretary in this game.
Oh. Hi, Tex. We've got a new case and won't believe who it involves. I'll transmit the information.
Oh my! I did not expect a little bit higher fidelity video. Not quite at the interactive cinema level that Under Killing Moon and Pandora and Overseer especially become, but a little step up. Marshall Alexander Terraform Corps, 582 Market Street. Mr. Alexander wants you to come by to discuss the case. See his secretary to let you in. He'll be there all day. which is an interesting detail because it's like, you don't have to worry about conforming to anybody else's schedule. 5,000 millimeter no light lens. It's the perfect accessory for those late night assignments at the no-tell motel. You pick up the lens. All right, so let's use the camera. You snap the camera and lens in place. Move. It moves slightly, but there's nothing below it. Look. Ah, there we go. Oh my, there is a shadowy figure lingering in his own privacy. You have no more film. Okay. And there is no light in that room. Tex, you really shouldn't be looking at that. Also, why do... I'm not entirely sure what happened in regards to the switch of the scenery. Why does nobody in this town have window curtains or blinds? Like, doesn't anybody care about privacy in this dirty part of San Francisco? These shadows, in their attempts to embrace, have become a blob. A shadowy blob, for which there is no escape. Okay. What else have we got to look at? We've got a lockpick kit, ammo, photos, letterhead reads Tex Murphy, private investigator. Divorce cases, missing persons, lost animals, a specialty. Remember, if I don't find them in one piece, pay only for the pieces I find. Oh, that is horrible. I already like this game way more. It's a lot more clever writing going on. An antique table phone. It's similar to the phone used by Bogart in the Maltese Falcon. It reminds you of the way people used to communicate. Clothes. A ratty, moth-eaten red sweater. A once white shirt with a large ink blot. And a pair of oxblood gum-soled shoes rest in the corner. A table lamp sits on the corner of the desk. That won't move. There's nothing below it. A sink is full of unwashed dishes. Blue and green mold grows from the disposal. Cigarette butts float in a half-full glass of beer. Where would you put it? That is an excellent question. A decorative piece of leather made by Tex's brother. This box contains a souvenir from the Asphalt Jungle State Park. The park is all that is left of Phoenix, Arizona, after it took a direct hit on Doomsday. Wow, alright. Inside the box, you see a souvenir, which is a twisted piece of metal that glows red in the dark. That sounds like it would be useful. Various books from the Detective Correspondence School. Some people have to take a course and to be a PI. You just had to shell out a few bucks. Oh, it's probably up here. 7mm seeking bullets. 7? That seems... You pick up the ammo. A lockpick kit. A basic detective lockpick kit. Alright. I think I am ready to move because I got the ammo, the lock, the items, camera, file jar, gun, switch writs, window, mail, photos, comlink. So let us save our game. Let us name it something a little bit stronger. Text apart. Apartment. Apart 1. And we will save. And what's kind of because there's really no main menu, when I want to go back to that save game, I actually just have to start a new game and then load. But traveling, it looks like it's nice and different. Instead of having to drive everywhere, it just goes to the location. Wow. You don't have to be a private eye, nor have a PhD to find Terraform Corporation in San Francisco. You don't even need to see too well. Just look up. Terraform is overwhelming. It's the biggest building in the entire city by the bay, or anywhere else. One step inside and you are instantly dwarfed by the 30-foot ceiling that arches overhead, the microwave motion detectors, pressure-sensitive pads, and robotic surveillance would make a Nazi nervous. That is very odd phrasing. All of this security must have emerged from the development of Terraform Core. Terraforming is a 50-year plan to make Mars habitable. It must have been very dangerous work at the onset, raising a planet's temperature 100 degrees, designing and erecting an efficient solar shield, transmuting the lethal gases of the red planet must have warranted risk, silence, and heavy security. Security, yes, but this place makes you feel like 7th grade gym class, and the first day in the showers, going in naked and ill-equipped. I guess I passed their check. A thick-necked guard takes me over to a turbo elevator, and I head for Alexander's office. Alright. By the way, I can use either the mouse or the keyboard to move. I think that was the case as well for Mean Streets, but it works a lot better in this one. You actually move at a decent pace. Like in Mean Streets, you're extremely slow in moving across. Let us start a new save. Let's call this Terra 1. In case I have to come back here. Oh. A plaque reads Terraform Core. Facilities located on Mars near the Tharsis Bulge. Phase 3 is now complete in meeting the goal of providing a breathable atmosphere. But will it have Wi-Fi? That's really the most important question. A piece of art from the sculptor Sabatini. It protrudes from the floor at unsightly angles. Uglier works of art have sold for more, but not in recent history. You know, this game came out before the banana duct taped onto a canvas. A nearly extinct, genetically undamaged fern plant. 2-foot wood and leaded glass doors that lead to Marshall Alexander's office. That door leads to the ladies' restroom. Alright. Operating switch to the restroom door. The oversized, tacky logo of Terraform Core is mounted on the wall. I agree, the Terraform logo is kind of terrible. Especially because, like, it looks like the F is almost, like, invisible. Like, the T is stood out, but the F kind of, like, fills in an outline. I don't know if I necessarily like that. Rhonda Foxworth, Mr. Alexander's executive assistant, is an incredibly well-built, gorgeous example of true art. That is a little bit much. I also didn't do anything, so I don't necessarily need to save that game. But I like, let's see, switch, secretary, washroom, elevator, office. Okay. Let us talk. Maybe you can answer a few questions. Oh.
I'm just too busy right now.
Okay. Let's...
May I help you? I'm just too busy right now.
Alright. It looks like, she's stonewalling me. But let's do the other option.
May I help you?
I'd like to see Mr. Alexander.
Just a moment. We can see you now.
He can? She's got that, like, 80s dress going on. Alright, let's head on in. Hopefully we don't screw up, because I hear, like, the dialogue responses in this game sometimes can be tricky. Oh. Oh my gosh. That is more... Oh, this is more like omnipresent style than I was expecting. Like, are you clearly the villain, sir? An original Renoir oil entitled Nice Flowers, Part 1. Part 2 of an original Renoir oil, Nice Flowers. So there's receipts, safe... I probably can't pick anything up while Marshall is in the room. A huge cherrywood desk throws an eerie shadow across the office floor. Life support monitors are built into the desk. Alexander is 65, overweight and sickly pale. He has an expression on his face that could bring a strong man to his knees. Fortunately, yours are just shaking. The Transamerica Building, one of the most striking landmarks in San Francisco. Oh, they need a comma. The Transamerica Building, one of the most striking landmarks in San Francisco, is bathed in an eerie glow as lightning flashes over the city. Alright. Let's, talk to,
Mr. Murphy.
Ooh.
My daughter is missing. She may have been abducted.
Ooh. This is a lot more cinematic, than I expected.
Something else was stolen from me, but no one must know that it's gone.
And also interesting that he's doing all his speaking from the shadows. That there's no actual cutscene that shows him. I'll transmit some leads for you to begin your search. Oh my. Alright, I guess we're done. I'm just gonna check said walkthrough real quick, like, just to make sure. So apparently... I'm supposed to go use the woman's bathroom. Because if it's an environment, might as well use it. There's a screen, switch, towel, and earring. An empty Rubbermaid Royal Princess garbage can. The latest in bathroom panache. A cold fusion-powered microwave hand dryer. We're still waiting for it to produce heat. A luxuriously thick Royal Canon hand towel. You move the towel slightly. One incredibly expensive, in quotes, Diamond earring lies on the floor. Is that actually incredibly expensive? You take the earring. You see a simple-minded, thick-willed, dull-brained creature staring back at you. But you're still more handsome than the average post-nuclear mutant on the street. Imagine that. Yeah. Switch, towel, screen, earring? An electronic switch. Ooh. An American Standard Water Miser toilet. You stare at the porcelain bowl next to the toilet. It's smaller and it has a nozzle which shoots water upward. You finally decide that this is a strange place for a drinking fountain. Okay. That would spray water everywhere. Nope, no clues in here. At least you're thorough. Can I take the towel? Security will take a dim view of that. Maybe you could wear it on your head? Leave it here. A fluorescent light illuminating in the mirror. Alright, let's get out of here. And apparently I can... Oh my. Texas pathfinding looks like it could use a little bit of work. Let's talk to... The trip out of Terraform is a lot more pleasant than coming in. Actually, hold on. I'm going to load my game because I wasn't planning on traveling. I just accidentally hit the travel button. So I'm just gonna get back to where I was before. Alright, now I'm back to where I was. What's kind of neat is you don't actually have to walk up to anything in this game.
May I help you?
How about this earring?
Oh, thanks. I thought it was lost. How about dinner?
I'll meet you tonight at Clemens. It's the 5-star restaurant at the Plaza Hotel. Or, well, I usually get a 20% finder fee for lost or stolen articles. But this time I'll only charge you 10%. Oof. I'm gonna guess response 1 is gonna be the more legit one. Okay, it's a date. I guess Chelsea hasn't shown up in the picture yet. Chelsea Bando shows up in... Under Killing Moon. So let us now travel. The trip out of Terraform is a lot more pleasant than coming in. And it's nice to have a client that looks like he can pay, so... Alexis Alexander, the daughter of the wealthiest man in the universe, is missing. What a ransom this dish would garner. But in the information he transmitted to me, there was nothing to prove this was a kidnapping. Then he says something else was stolen from me, and acts as if this was more important than his daughter. I try to get more information on what it was, and he clams up on the subject. I don't think he's giving me the whole story, and one thing's for sure, he's desperate. At least he gave me a few places to start. And of course, Mac Malden is back. We've got the Plaza Hotel to go out with Rhonda. Alexis home to inspect there. But I think that will wait until next time.
Thank you for watching. Questions, comments, recommendations for something to play next? Comment down below or send it on over to itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. That's itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. So long for now.